A Fame Finder original story. Sometimes the biggest moments in life come from the smallest decisions. For 16-year-old Marcus Thompson, it happened in just 45 seconds. That's how long it took him to spot the problem, grab the special drink, and rush it to LeBron James during a crucial Lakers game. 45 seconds to help the greatest basketball player in the world when no one else noticed something was wrong. 45 seconds to lose his dream job. But what Marcus didn't know, what nobody knew, was that his split-second choice would uncover a secret that would change not just his life, but the entire NBA. Sometimes getting fired isn't the end of the story. Sometimes it's just the beginning. Marcus Thompson's hand shook as he tied his new work apron. The bright purple uniform with the Lakers logo felt like a superhero cape. He couldn't believe he was actually going to work at the Crypto.com arena where his basketball heroes played every week. "You're going to do great, baby," his mom said, straightening his name tag. Dark circles lined her eye from working the night shift at the hospital, but her smile was bright as ever. "Just remember, be polite, work hard, and always show up 15 minutes early." "I know, Mom," Marcus finished, grinning. He'd heard these words 1,000 times, but today they felt different. Today they weren't just mom advice. They were the rules for keeping his dream job. At 16, Marcus was the youngest person to get hired at the arena this season. The thought made his stomach flutter with butterflies, but he pushed the nervousness down. This job meant everything. With Mom's nursing salary stretched thin and his little sister Sarah's asthma medicine getting more expensive every month, they needed the extra money. The bus ride to work felt like floating on a cloud. Marcus pressed his forehead against the window, watching the Los Angeles streets zoom past. He remembered all those times he'd watched Lakers games on their tiny TV, dreaming about what it would be like inside the arena. Now he'd get to be there for every home game. "You're early." "Good." Mr. Peterson, the concession supervisor, checked his clipboard as Marcus walked in. He was a tall man with gray hair and glasses that sat on the tip of his nose. First day jitters. "No, sir," Marcus said quickly, maybe too quickly, because Mr. Peterson's eyebrow went up. Mr. Peterson led him through the massive kitchen area. The smell of popcorn and hot dogs filled the air. "Let's go over the rules again. What's rule number 1? Always wash hands before handling any food or drinks," Marcus recited. He'd studied the employee handbook 5 times last night. "Rule 2. Keep your station clean and organized at all times." And the most important rule. Marcus stood straighter. Every customer gets the same treatment. No exception for anyone, even celebrities. "Especially celebrities," Mr. Peterson corrected. "We get Lakers players, movie stars, and millionaires in here. They are all just customers. No special treatment. No autographs. No pictures. Break that rule and you're out. Understood?" "Yes, sir." The morning flew by in a blur of training. Marcus learned how to work the register, mix the special sports drinks, and keep the ice bins filled. His fellow workers were nice, especially Maria, who had been running the snack counter for 5 years. She showed him all the shortcuts and secrets, like how to tell when the popcorn was perfectly done by sound alone. "You're catching on fast, kid," she said, showing him how to stack cups so they wouldn't fall. "Just wait until game night. That's when the real fun begins." During his lunch break, Marcus sat in the employee room eating the sandwich Mom had packed. He pulled out his phone and opened his sister's latest text. "Did you see LeBron yet? Take pictures." Marcus smiled and texted back, "Not allowed to take pics, remember? But I can see the court from my station." The afternoon shift brought more customers as people came for arena tours. Marcus served them all with a big smile, just like Mom did with her hospital patients. Each "thank you" and "have a nice day" brought him closer to his first paycheck. He'd already decided half would go to Mom for bills, and he'd save the other half for Sarah's medicine. At closing time, Mr. Peterson checked Marcus's station. "Not bad, Thompson. Everything's clean. Money's counted correctly." He made some notes on his clipboard. "You follow instructions well." "That's good. Too many young people these days think rules don't matter." "Thank you, sir." Marcus beamed with pride. "I won't let you down." The bus ride home felt different from the morning. His feet hurt from standing all day, and his arms were tired from lifting ice bags, but his heart felt light. He'd done it. First day complete. No mistakes. Mom was already home when he walked in, helping Sarah with homework at the kitchen table. The smell of chicken soup filled their small apartment. "There's my working man." Mom pulled him into a hug. "How was it?" Marcus collapsed into a chair, but he couldn't stop smiling. "Amazing. I learned everything about the concession stand, and Mr. Peterson said I did a good job, and I can see the whole cart from my station. And—" "Breathe. Honey," Mom laughed, putting a bowl of soup in front of him. Sarah bounced in her seat. "Did you see any players? Was LeBron there? What about Anthony Davis?" "No players today. Squirt. But just wait until game night." Marcus slurped his soup, already imagining it. In just 3 days, the Lakers would play the Celtics. The arena would be packed. The energy would be incredible. Later that night, as Marcus got ready for bed, he heard Mom coughing in the kitchen. He peeked out and saw her at the table, surrounded by bills, her calculator clicking away. She looked tired, worried. Marcus closed his door quietly. Tomorrow he'd get up early again. He'd work harder than anyone. He'd make Mom proud and help with those bills. This wasn't just a cool job at a basketball arena anymore. It was his chance to make things better for his family. As he drifted off to sleep, Marcus smiled. The Lakers logo on his new uniform hung neatly on his door, catching the moonlight. His dream job was just the beginning. He could feel it. Something big was coming. He just didn't know yet how big, or how much his life would change in just a few days. 3 days flew by like a fast break down the court. When Marcus arrived for his first Lakers game night, the arena hummed with electricity. Fans in purple and gold jerseys streamed through the doors, and the smell of popcorn filled the air like never before. "Remember, tonight's going to be crazy busy," Maria warned as she helped Marcus stock his station. "Just breathe and take it one customer at a time." Mr. Peterson was everywhere at once, checking stations and barking reminders. "Thompson, what's the celebrity rule?" "No special treatment, sir. Everyone's just a customer," Marcus replied automatically. He'd said it so many times now, it was like reciting his own name. The game against the Celtics wasn't just any regular season matchup. The Lakers needed this win to secure their playoff position. Marcus could feel the tension in the air as tip-off approached. His first rush of customers hit like a tidal wave. Marcus's fingers flew over the register buttons, scooped ice, and poured drinks. The training kicked in, and everything flowed. A woman in a LeBron jersey smiled when he remembered to add extra ice just like she asked. A little kid's eyes lit up when Marcus carefully placed his nachos so they wouldn't spill. During a quick breather, Marcus glanced at the court. The players were larger than life, their shoes squeaking on the shiny floor. LeBron James moved like he was floating, making impossible passes look easy. Marcus had watched hundreds of games on TV, but being here, feeling the roar of the crowd shake the walls, it was magic. "Focus, Thompson." Mr. Peterson's voice snapped him back. Less watching, more working. The game stayed close through 3 quarters. Every time the Lakers scored, the crowd erupted, and the concession lines grew longer with celebrating fans. Marcus's feet ached, but he didn't care. He was part of it all, part of the NBA dream. Then came the timeout that would change everything. Marcus was on his break, organizing the special drinks in the back fridge, when he heard the crowd gasp. He peeked out at the giant screen above the court. The camera showed LeBron James looking shaky during the timeout. The greatest player in the world was pale, breathing hard, and something in his eyes didn't look right. Without thinking, Marcus grabbed one of the special electrolyte drinks he'd just sorted. These weren't the regular sports drinks they sold to customers. They were special order, kept separate for a reason. His heart pounded as he looked at the court, then at the drink in his hand. Mr. Peterson's voice rang in his head. "No special treatment. Break that rule and you're out." But the bigger voice, the one that sounded like his mom's, whispered, "Sometimes doing the right thing means taking a risk." Marcus clutched the drink and ran. He ducked past the regular security checkpoint, his purple uniform letting him move through some barriers. But as he got closer to the Lakers bench, a large security guard stepped in his path. "Kid, you can't be here," the guard said firmly. "But Marcus held up the drink, trying to explain. The timeout was almost over. LeBron still looked wrong. That's when it happened. LeBron James himself looked over, saw Marcus with a drink, and waved him through. "Let him come," the superstar called out. The security guard stepped aside. Marcus rushed forward, handshaking as he handed LeBron the drink. Their eyes met for a moment, and LeBron gave him a nod that said more than words could. The crowd, seeing the moment on the big screen, cheered. It looked like a heartwarming scene, a young worker helping their basketball hero. Some fans even took pictures with their phones. But as Marcus turned to head back to his station, his heart sank. There stood Mr. Peterson, arms crossed, face dark as a storm cloud. And Marcus knew his dream job had just ended. The rest of the game was a blur. The Lakers won on a last-second shot by LeBron, who looked completely recovered. The arena exploded in celebration, but Marcus barely noticed. He just kept working, trying to delay the moment he knew was coming. As the fans filed out and the cleanup began, Maria gave him a sad smile. She'd seen it all happen. "Mr. Peterson wants to see you first thing tomorrow morning," she said softly. "For what it's worth, kid, I think you did the right thing." Marcus nodded, his throat too tight to speak. On the bus ride home, he watched the city lights blur through his tears. How would he tell Mom? What about Sarah's medicine? All because he broke the biggest rule. He didn't regret helping. He couldn't regret doing what felt right. But as he lay in bed that night, the moment played over and over in his mind. He had no idea that while he was dreading tomorrow's meeting with Mr. Peterson, something much bigger was already in motion. His simple act of kindness had set off a chain of events that would change not just his life, but the lives of everyone around him. Marcus arrived at the arena 30 minutes early the next morning, still wearing his purple Lakers uniform. The empty building felt different now, quiet, almost scary. His footsteps echoed as he walked to Mr. Peterson's office. Mom had already been awake when he left, as if she knew something was wrong. "Whatever happens, I'm proud of you," she'd said, hugging him tight. "You've always had a good heart, just like your father did." Now, sitting in the hard plastic chair outside Mr. Peterson's office, Marcus wished he had that hug to hold on to. The door opened with a creak. "Come in, Thompson." Mr. Peterson sat behind his desk, looking tired. A copy of the employee handbook lay open in front of him. On his computer screen, Marcus could see a paused video, him running to the Lakers bench with a drink. "Do you know why you're here?" Mr. Peterson asked. Marcus sat up straight. If he was going down, he'd go down brave. "Yes, sir. I broke the celebrity rule. I left my station without permission and went to the Lakers bench." "Not just a bench. You went right up to LeBron James himself." Mr. Peterson took off his glasses and rubbed his eyes. "The video's all over social media. Lakers kid is trending. People are calling you a hero." Marcus stayed quiet. He didn't feel like a hero. But here's the thing about heroes, Thompson. They often break rules. And in this arena, rules keep people safe. Rules keep things fair. Mr. Peterson put his glasses back on. What if every worker decided to run up to the players? What if everyone thought their reason was special enough to break protocol? "I understand. So, I believe you do. And that makes this harder." Mr. Peterson picked up a paper from his desk. "I have to let you go, Marcus. Effective immediately." Even though he'd expected it, the words hit like a punch to the stomach. Marcus blinked hard, fighting tears. "Turn in your uniform before you leave. Security will walk you out." Mr. Peterson's voice softened slightly. "For what it's worth, I wish things could be different." Marcus stood on shaky legs. As he reached for the door, Mr. Peterson spoke again. "Thompson, sometimes life is a funny way of working out. Remember that." Outside the arena, Marcus changed into his regular clothes in the bathroom of a nearby coffee shop. His phone buzzed with messages. Sarah asking why he was home early. Maria saying how sorry she was. Even some news reporters wanting to talk about the video. He ignored them all and took the long way home, walking instead of taking the bus. The Lakers uniform, folded neatly in his backpack, felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Mom was waiting when he got home. One look at his face told her everything. "Oh, baby." She wrapped him in a hug, and this time, Marcus let the tears come. "I'm sorry, Mom," he whispered. I know we needed that job. But LeBron, something wasn't right. I had to help. Listen to me. Mom held his face in her hands. Jobs come and go. But being the kind of person who helps others when they need it, that's worth more than any paycheck. Later that afternoon, while Mom was calling about extra nursing shifts, Marcus finally checked his phone. The video had millions of views. Some people said he should be hired back. Others defended the arena, saying rules were rules. But none of them knew the whole story. None of them saw how LeBron's hands had been shaking, how his eyes hadn't looked right. None of them knew about the special drinks in the back fridge, or why Marcus had chosen that specific one. As the sun set outside his window, Marcus wondered if he'd ever work in sports again. He wondered how they'd pay for Sarah's medicine next month. He wondered if he'd made the biggest mistake of his life or the best decision he'd ever made. He had no way of knowing that right at that moment, in another part of Los Angeles, people were making phone calls and sending emails that would turn his whole world upside down, all because of one drink, one decision, and one simple act of kindness. By morning, the video had exploded. Every sports channel was playing it on repeat. The young worker in purple rushing to help LeBron, the security guard stepping aside, the crowd cheering. But they were also talking about what happened after, how Marcus got fired for breaking the rules. Your phone's blowing up, Sarah said at breakfast, scrolling through her own social media. People want to interview you. Look, even ESPN shared the video. Mom turned off the TV where a sports anchor was debating whether the arena had been too harsh. Maybe we should unplug for a while, she suggested, seeing Marcus push his cereal around the bowl. Give things time to calm down. But the world didn't want to calm down. #JusticeForMarcus was trending #1 on Twitter. People were sharing their own stories of getting fired for trying to help others. Some former arena workers posted about how strict Mr. Peterson had always been with the rules. Marcus's phone kept buzzing with messages from reporters. Can we get your side of the story? What made you decide to help LeBron? How do you feel about being fired? He ignored them all. What could he say? That he'd seen something wrong in LeBron's eyes? That he'd picked that specific drink for a reason? He couldn't explain it without making things worse. You should talk to someone. Maria texted him. People are on your side. Even some of the Lakers players are posting about it. Sure enough, when Marcus checked, several Lakers had shared the video with messages supporting him. But LeBron James himself hadn't said anything publicly. Marcus wondered if the basketball star even remembered the moment, or if it had just been another timeout in another game to him. Sarah's friend Jenny came over after school, excited to have a famous connection. My cousin's friend works at Nike, she told them. He said everyone at the office was talking about you. They think the arena made a huge mistake. Great, Marcus muttered. Maybe they can help pay our bills. Mom overheard him and pulled him aside. I know you're worried about money, baby, but we'll figure it out. We always do. But Marcus saw her later, making quiet phone calls about picking up extra weekend shifts. He heard her asking about payment plans for Sarah's medicine. The viral fame meant nothing if it couldn't help his family. That afternoon, a local news van parked outside their apartment building. Mom drew the curtains and ordered pizza so they wouldn't have to go out. They ate in the living room, trying to pretend everything was normal. Look! Sarah suddenly pointed at her phone. Someone started a GoFundMe for you. Marcus checked, and his stomach twisted. Someone had indeed created a fundraiser. Help the kid who helped LeBron. It already had thousands of dollars in donations. No, he said firmly. I don't want charity. I just want. He stopped, not sure how to finish. A job, his old life back, for people to forget about him. Mom hugged him tight. I know, baby, I know. That night, unable to sleep, Marcus scrolled through the comments on the video. Most people supported him, calling him brave and kind. But some defended the arena, saying rules existed for a reason. A few suggested the whole thing was staged for attention. None of them knew the truth. None of them had seen what Marcus saw in those crucial moments during the timeout. None of them knew why that particular drink had been so important. A new message popped up on his phone from an unknown number. Marcus almost ignored it, thinking it was another reporter. But something made him open it. Thank you for caring enough to act. Not everyone would have noticed. And even fewer would have done something about it. Stay ready. Good things are coming. The message was unsigned. Marcus read it over and over, wondering who it could be from. It felt different from the other messages, more personal, like someone who knew something he didn't. He fell asleep with his phone in his hand, the message still glowing on the screen. Tomorrow would bring more attention, more questions, more pressure. But somewhere in Los Angeles, wheels were turning, people were talking, and Marcus's life was about to change in ways he couldn't imagine. The real story hadn't even started yet. 2 weeks crawled by. The viral fame faded like old newspaper left in the sun, but its shadow lingered. Marcus couldn't walk into a store without someone recognizing him as that Lakers kid. The GoFundMe page, which he'd never approved, had been taken down after he posted publicly asking people not to donate. Thompson. The manager at the grocery store glanced at his job application, then back at Marcus. Wait, aren't you the kid from the arena? The one who got fired? Yes, sir, Marcus admitted. But I'm a hard worker, and Sorry, kid, we can't risk it. You understand, right? What if a celebrity shops here, and you break protocol again? It was the same story everywhere. The movie theater, the mall, even the local pizza place. As soon as they recognized him, the answer was no. His viral moment had become a curse. At home, things were getting worse. Sarah's asthma acted up in the changing weather, and her inhaler was running low. Mom worked double shift at the hospital so often that Marcus barely saw her in the mall. When she was home, she fell asleep on the couch, still in her nursing scrubs. The Lakers had another home game that night. Marcus watched it on their tiny TV, his old uniform stuffed in the back of his closet where he couldn't see it. The camera panned to his old concession stand, where someone else served drinks and popcorn to the fans. You could have been there, a small voice in his head whispered, if you just followed the rules. His phone buzzed. Another message from Maria. She'd been keeping him updated about work, trying to keep his spirits up. But this message was different. You need to see this. LeBron just collapsed during practice. They are saying it might be related to that timeout in your game. Reporters are asking questions about what happened that night. Marcus's heart raced. He switched to the sports news channel, but they were only showing regular highlights. He searched online and found a few tweets about LeBron leaving practice early, but nothing about a collapse. Sarah wondered in, wheezing slightly, can we order pizza tonight? Mom left money. Let's have soup instead, Marcus said, knowing they needed to save every dollar. I'll make Mom's special recipe. While the soup simmered, Marcus checked his email for the 100th time that week. Every application he'd sent out sat unanswered. The viral video followed him everywhere, like a shadow he couldn't shake. The mysterious text from 2 weeks ago still haunted him. Stay ready. Good things are coming. But nothing good had come. Just rejection after rejection, bill after bill. That night, after Sarah went to bed, Marcus heard Mom crying in the kitchen. He found her at the table, surrounded by papers, bills, late notices, and Sarah's prescription that needed refilling. I'm sorry, he said softly. This is all my fault. If I hadn't lost that job. Mom wiped her eyes quickly. No, baby, don't you dare blame yourself. Sometimes doing the right thing comes with a price. Your father taught me that. She rarely talked about Dad. He'd been a firefighter, died saving a family from a burning building when Marcus was 7. Another person who'd broken protocol to help someone in need. I just feel so useless, Marcus admitted, sitting down. Everyone knows who I am, but nobody will hire me. And now Sarah's medicine. We'll figure it out, Mom said, but her voice shook. We always do. Later, lying in bed, Marcus pulled out his phone and finally did something he'd been avoiding. He opened the video of that night, turning the sound low so it wouldn't wake Sarah. He watched himself run to the Lakers bench, watched LeBron wave him through. But this time, he noticed something new. Just before Marcus handed over the drink, the camera caught LeBron's face clearly. The look in his eyes, Marcus hadn't imagined it. Something had been seriously wrong. The mysterious text message felt heavier now. Someone else had noticed too. Someone knew more than they were saying. His phone buzzed, making him jump. Unknown number. Marcus Thompson, this is a Lakers HR department. We've been trying to reach you about an important matter. Please come to the office tomorrow at 10 a.m. Bring ID. Marcus stared at the message, his heart pounding. Was this another prank? Another reporter trying to get his story? A loud wee from Sarah's room broke his thoughts. He found her sitting up in bed, struggling with her inhaler. "It's empty," she gasped. Marcus helped her use the breathing techniques the doctor had taught them, keeping his voice calm while his mind raced. They needed a new inhaler. They needed money. They needed a miracle. The Lakers' HR message glowed on his phone, promising what? Another disappointment? Or maybe, just maybe, the change his mysterious texter had promised. "I'll figure something out," he told Sarah as she finally fell back asleep. "I promise." Outside, the Los Angeles lights twinkled like stars, and somewhere in the city, people who knew the truth about that timeout were finally ready to talk. Marcus had no idea that tomorrow's meeting would unlock secrets bigger than basketball, bigger than broken rules, bigger than anything he could imagine. The real miracle was already in motion, set in place by that one simple act of kindness 2 weeks ago. And it all started with noticing something in LeBron James's eyes that nobody else had seen. Or at least, almost nobody. Marcus barely slept that night. The Lakers' HR message kept playing in his mind like a song stuck on repeat. Was it real? And if it was, what did they want with him? Mom took one look at his face in the morning and called the hospital. "I'm taking a personal day," she told her supervisor. "Family emergency." "Mom, no," Marcus protested. "You need those hours." "You're not going to that meeting alone," she said firmly. Then, softer, "Besides, I have a feeling about this one. Sometimes life's biggest blessings come disguised as setbacks." Sarah wanted to come too, but her wheezing was worse this morning. Mrs. Rodriguez from next door agreed to watch her, sharing worried looks with Mom when she saw Sarah's empty inhaler. The bus ride to the Lakers facility felt endless. Marcus wore his best clothes, a button-up shirt Dad had worn to church, iron crisp despite its age. Mom held his hand like she had when he was little, neither of them talking about their empty bank account or Sarah's medicine. The Lakers' practice facility was huge, all glass and steel, gleaming in the morning sun. At the front desk, a security guard checked their IDs and made a call. "Thompson Party is here." Marcus's legs felt like jelly as they followed a woman in a business suit down long hallways lined with Lakers history. Past players looked down from framed photos, their eyes seeming to follow them. "Please wait here," the woman said, showing them to a conference room. "Would you like water?" They both nodded, too nervous to speak. Through the glass walls, Marcus could see people hurrying past, carrying papers and talking in low voices. One man stopped a peer-in, then rushed away, whispering into his phone. "Whatever happens," Mom squeezed his hand. "I'm proud of you. Remember that." The door opened. A man in an expensive suit walked in, followed by a woman carrying a laptop. "Marcus Thompson, I'm David Chen, Lakers head of human resources. This is Lisa Martinez, our legal counsel." Marcus's heart sank. Legal counsel? Were they going to sue him for breaking protocol? "Thank you for coming," Mr. Chen said, sitting down. "We've been trying to reach you through various channels." The mysterious text message, Marcus realized. That had been them, testing the waters first. Miss Martinez opened her laptop. "We need you to sign this non-disclosure agreement. What we're about to discuss cannot leave this room." Mom straightened in her chair. "My son is a minor. I'll need to review any documents first." "Of course," Mr. Chen smiled. "We expected nothing less." While Mom read through the papers with Ms. Martinez, Mr. Chen turned to Marcus. "That was quite something you did during the timeout. Not many people would have noticed what you noticed." Marcus swallowed hard. "Is LeBron okay? I heard about practice yesterday." "You've been paying attention," Mr. Chen nodded. "Good. That's actually part of why we're here." Mom finished reading and signed the papers. Marcus signed where they pointed, his hand shaking slightly. "Now then," Mr. Chen leaned forward. "Tell me exactly what you saw that made you choose that specific drink that night." Marcus glanced at Mom, who nodded encouragingly. His hands were shaking, he said slowly. not like regular tired shaking. I'd seen that look before in the hospital when Mom took me to work once. And his eyes, they weren't focusing right. And you knew which drink to bring because the special drinks in the back fridge, they are labeled differently. I memorized what each one was for during training, even though Mr. Peterson said we'd never handle them. Marcus hesitated. The blue one with a silver cap, it's not just for energy, is it? Mr. Chen and Miss Martinez exchanged looks. No, Mr. Chen said finally. It's not. And the fact that you noticed that you acted on it, well, that's why we're here. He pulled out an envelope and slid it across the table. We'd like to make you an offer, Marcus. One that could change everything. Marcus reached for the envelope, his heart pounding. But before he could open it, the door burst open. Sorry I'm late, said a familiar voice. Traffic was crazy. Marcus turned, and his jaw dropped. Standing in the doorway, dressed in Lakers warm-up gear, was LeBron James himself.